Drop your head and sway it side to side so you feel the weight of your head, neck stretching. Back to center. Inhale your shoulders up, roll them back. A few rolls like this. Palms upward on your lap. Deep inhale. Sigh it out. Just let the air fall out. Yeah, just like that. Use your voice. Deep inhale, sigh it out. Now keep the breathing through the nose and try to make the exhale just a little bit longer than the inhale. It's just demonstrating downward dog for us, right? Excuse me, downward cat. So long inhale. Expand the diaphragm and then exhale slowly through the nose. If you know Ujjayi breath, come into it now. It's the victorious breath that sounds like ocean waves. If you're not sure what Ujjayi breath is, don't worry about it right now. We'll have a lesson on that later. Drop your head down again and let's come into head rolls. Inhaling on half the circle, up. Exhale on the other half of the circle, down. Big and slow, like your breath is directing the movement. Circle the other way. Be aware of your posture slumping at all. If you started to fatigue and you're dropping down through the shoulders or low back, rise up tall. I'm propped up on a brick, which helps me be erect in my spine. Head back to neutral. Open up your arms and hal your palms overhead. Lengthen up like someone's pulling gently on your wrists. Exhale them back. Palms up. Carrying the energy up overhead. Interlace above your head, lengthen. You may or may not be able to straighten your arms, that's okay. Let your shoulders relax here, even if it means dropping the arms a little. Side bend over, hold. Notice you're not falling forward, but you're wide open, even a little twist open. Inhale to center, exhale, over. Feet's working a little bit here. Let's sway back and forth. Feel the stretch from your hip all the way to your fingertips. Open up your arms, land your hand down on the floor, and extend overhead. Let's try to straighten this arm. It's not just hanging, but lengthen with integrity. And perhaps you could even bring this elbow down onto a brick or the floor. Notice that your sit bone hasn't pulled up off the ground. So which sides? Find your center here. On back. Take your hands and your fingers and interlace them, hooking them together like that. Elbows parallel to the floor here, shoulders relaxed. Let's go side to side. Imagine you're following the path of your elbow. So your head is turning as well. If this makes you dizzy, then keep your eyes fixed on something in front of you instead. Keep it moving, but simply switch your hands. Moving, spinal twist. And open it up, shake it out. Hands to your lap. If this is hard on your knees, you can always kneel. You can have your legs bent out in front like this, down, or straight in front if there's no cat in the way. Arch and fall back, just like cow and cat. Seated, inhale here. Exhale to contract. Inhale, open. Contract, release the air. We're going to work in dolphin pose today, strengthening shoulders and forearms, core of course. Perhaps getting into Pincha Mayurasana, forearm balance with or without a wall. Expand the arms and then hug a big tree. Inhale, wide open. Little back bend. Wrap your arms around the tree. Let's move into table. Palms under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Drop your belly way down. Feel like your belly is weighting down. Call this the cow. Imagine a big udder right here pulling. Roll back your shoulders, look forward, and now actively arch the back, widen the chest and pelvis. Push through the palms and hoist up, tailbone under chin to chest. Exhale. Back, forward. Fold your forearms down to the mat. Simply drop your head here. So it's not child's pose, we're keeping the tailbone up. Forehead to the mat and just relax. Full breath, expand your back. Reach out into puppy pose. So you're reaching to the corners of your mat and pulling back, just like downward dog, but you're on your knees. Lengthen your arms as straight as you can. Stretch your fingers long. Full inhale. Now piano hands, pull your palm up, fingertips on the floor like spiders. Try not to bend your elbows. Round the palms again. Curl your toes under and take it right into downward dog. Roll back your shoulders, tailbone to the sky. Now notice you're not falling forward toward a plank, but it's as if someone is pulling your hips back from behind. Loop their fingers into your belt loops. Shoulders away from the ears. Weight even through your palms. Come to tippy toes, stretching through the soles of your feet. Pull the heels back. Up and down. Now, sway forward to plank. Coming forward, notice your shoulders have gone beyond your wrists. Rise up tall, come back down. So this is entirely in the shoulders. I'm hoisting up, a little bit like cow and cat, dropping down, but I'm not dropping into an arch through the low back. This is entirely in the shoulders. Hoisting up and down. Don't bend your elbows with this one. Core is working. One more. Always be on knees for a gentler option. Pull it back into downward dog. And we'll walk here. Bend one leg, fall through that hip. Bend the other, drop through that hip. Walk it up to the top of the mat and hang it ragdoll. So soften through your knees. Arms are hanging. Head is heavy. Sway side to side. Big and slow. Your upper body is like the trunk of an elephant. Bring your fingertips to your shins. Lengthen your back and the back of your legs. Pull back your shoulders. Long, flat back. If you're a little bit hunched here, that may be because you're very tight between your shoulders in time with practice. It would be as if someone's pressing down through the center of your spine. Inhale. Exhale it down. Reverse swan dive up to the top. Let's relax your shoulders, palms together. Lift your heart. Now watch that you don't fall forward through the hips here, but you're rising up through the heart center, through the mid-back. Bring it back down and step back to downward dog. Roll your shoulders away from your ears. Let's seesaw from downward dog into plank. Feel the movement initiate. The feet to come forward and then the core to pull back. For extra challenge here, when you get to plank, add a partial or full push-up. Key points in your push-up is not to sink through the low back, but to engage through the core. At the same time, you also don't want to do your push-up with the hips way in the air like that, but you're a plank of wood. Last one. And come onto your knees. Sit on your heels if you can, or on the block. And stretch your arms out in front. Inhale them overhead. Move them back out in front and side to side. So I'm really stretching the outside of my wrist here. You want to stretch it there. So we do a lot of weight-bearing poses in yoga, plank and chaturanga, all of the arm balances. Take your arms behind, all of them except for Pinchamayurasana, forearm balance. Stretch your shoulders toward each other, fingers toward the floor, lift your heart. Inhale. Exhale it back to table. Fold your forearms down right here so that they're parallel. Now, in Dolphin, you have the option of taking your arms like this if you prefer, or even interlacing them like this if you prefer. Some people like to take a brick, hold it like this, and then let that be the guide how far apart your hands should be. Choose what you like. From here, pull back exactly as you would in downward dog. Hips away. Your head may even touch the floor, but if it does, don't let it rest there. It's there. It's not taking any weight. This is dolphin. Compare this to downward dog. Feel the extra work in the shoulders. Tippy toes take you forward to forearm plank. Hold it back. Let's seesaw back and forth as we did in downward dog to plank. Feel the core working. Good. Straighten your arms one at a time, back into downward dog. Pull back. Turn to the floor again. And take your right arm across your chest, hook it with the left arm, and pull. Add a deep breath here. Whew. It is over 30 degrees in my home studio at this moment. Montreal is having a heat wave. And switch. Don't have AC yet. I'm suffering, but that's okay. I taught hot yoga for 8 years. When it became super trendy. Never loved it, but got used to it. And shake it out. Let's begin our flow. Starting in downward dog, roll back your shoulders and center the left foot, sail the right leg straight up behind you. Now resist rotating open right here. Let's keep the hip and the knee facing the ground, coming as high as you can. Notice you haven't fallen into one arm and you're loosey-goosey in the other arm. Both arms are equally working here. Let's flex the foot. Circle the entire leg in the air. Then bring the bent knee through slowly. Pause at heart center in 3-point plank, and then complete the journey to runner's lunge. This may take several steps, or just one. I prefer the bricks under my hands in runner's lunge. I have short arms. Just makes me feel I can get a better stretch through the hip flexor. Lengthen here, roll back your shoulders and down. As you exhale, step the back foot to the front. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half extension. Long back, long legs, inhale. Breathe it out down. Interlace your hands on your low back. Lift them off the back if possible. Look forward, slight bend in the knees as you rise. Keep your hands interlaced, roll back, little back bend. Hands pull away from the body. Exhale it back down, release your hands. Uttanasana, forward fold. Step back with the right leg. Inhale in place. Exhale. Now when you switch into plank on your exhale, make sure you don't pop up into a pyramid on the way, but you stay in the runner's lunge stance and simply move the foot back. When you're coming down into chaturanga, we'll do it on the exhale and try to lower the body as one unit. Breathing in place and lower. Right down. If you're finding you're inchworming your way down, kind of like this, then do it from knees and make sure you're landing belly and chest at the same time. Sphinx Cobra, forearms ground, shoulders roll back, and lift the chest. Engage the glutes slightly. Inhale. As you exhale, come down, slide your palms underneath your shoulders, flex your feet, and either roll up from cobra to plank or push straight to plank here with core and arm strength. Pull it back to downward dog, walk in place. Roll back your shoulders. Center your right foot, send the left leg straight out and up with no rotation of the hip. Both arms remain straight. Inhale. Feel like your breath reaches your feet. And now circle the entire leg. Drawing circles in the air with the sole of your foot. Pull it through, bent knees, shoulders over wrists, and complete the journey to runner's lunge, returning to the exact variation we just left. Lengthening your runner's lunge. If you're super flexible, watch you not falling down through the right hip. Inhale in place. Exhale. Hug your legs in Uttanasana. Draw your head down. Notice you're not locking the back of the knees, no matter how flexible your hamstrings may be. Yield a little bit here. Inhale, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana, extend long shoulders back. Exhale, lower, reverse swan dive up. Holding an imaginary ball here, roll back your shoulders, lift your chest. Control back bend. Exhale it down. Step your left foot back. Lengthen to breathe in. Gracefully step back to breathe out. Plank on knees or feet. Rock just a wee bit forward before descending. If you're on your toes, I'm on the very tips of my big toes, and then down we go. Point your toes. Pull your hands back an inch and rise up halfway. Elbows are still bent. Watch you're not sinking down here. Roll back your shoulders, heart forward. Inhale. Flex your feet. Push to plank. Core pulls you up and takes you back into downward dog walk. Center the left foot. Send the right leg up, and this time bend it, flex your foot, and lift up through the hip and knee. Now we're rotating. Feel the left arm soften here. Soften it completely until your left elbow finds the floor. I have my left elbow down and my right arm is long. Now don't go all soft in the right arm. Extend it long and let it support you. This is a marriage between dolphin and downward dog. Untwist, straighten the left arm, move the right leg through to runner's lunge. And when you arrive, lift the right arm up. And notice the back foot hasn't pivoted. It is still forward facing, reach to the sky. As you exhale, sweep it under and up. Inhale on the lift. Exhale under. can always kneel if you need to on the back knee. And wind this one over your head and point forward. Bring it down. And ground the back foot, move into warrior. My back will be to you, but then we'll show you the pose from behind. So what you want to make sure here is that your front knee is not falling in towards your inner ankle. When you look, you can see your toes, or at least your longest toe and the ankle. Open up your arms. Now don't push forward through the hips. There's a zipper from your pelvis all the way up your spine. Arms parallel to the floor. Relax your shoulders. And we are moving at the waist only. Reach forward, reach back. My legs are not following me. So good for toning the waist, strengthening obliques. Relaxed and flowing through the arms, flexible in the upper body, rooted through the legs, just like the tree. Its trunk, its branches in the wind. Touch down on the back leg, the straight leg. Arm overhead, like the side bend in the warm-up, and extend. Again, we don't want to just hang, but lengthen long. Stay deep in your lunge. Look back. Wind it over. Wind the other arm like you're cartwheeling. Now here, we're about to go into runner's lunge. So what tends to happen with the back foot is it pivots like this, which is okay if you have really flexible, strong ankles, but if you don't, this could injure your ankles. So the safest way to do this is to come down, right about the moment the fingers touch the floor, lift the back leg and pivot the foot in the air, not where there's weight on it on the floor. Landing, runner's lunge. Inhale in place. Exhale to plank. Advanced challenge here. Lower to chaturanga. Without touching the floor with your legs, switch the feet to pointed toes and rise up into up dog. Take it forward, down, feet switch, and here I go. Legs never touch the ground. Core pulls me up, takes me back into downward dog walk in place. Center your right foot. Sail the left leg up, bend it, and don't just let it hang in the air, but rise up through the knee, through the hip. Keep them high. Soften the right arm and land the elbow on the floor. It might seem scary the first time you do that, but once you get there, you go, oh, okay. It's not that hard. Left arm is long, the palm is taking weight. Feel what's going on through the left hip. Brilliant. Let's untwist the hips, lengthen the right arm, and step it through to runner's lunge. Lift your left arm into the air, twisting the runner's lunge. Inhale. Exhale, sweep it under. Breathing in to reach up, all the way up. Feel this in the shoulders, the pecs. Notice where you're working. Supporting yourself through the right arm. Getting a deep stretch through the left leg. And now wind it overhead, point forward. As you exhale, hand comes down, around the back foot on an angle, and lift into your warrior stance. Imaginary line from the heel of the front foot to either the inset, center, the back foot, or perhaps the toes, or heel. There's some flexibility there, what feels most comfortable. Now, if you're not super strong in your core and low back, and you tend to slump forward when you stand in general, that's what you might be doing in the pose here. You want to rise up here, but you're not hyper-arching either. Feel actually where this beam of sun is down the center of my body. You want that line of energy to rise up exactly like that. Open up your arms. Big breath. Sway forward and back, just like a belly dancer. Reaching, legs completely rooted and anchored and still. Notice the back foot on the lengthened leg, is not rolling off the floor at all. Touch down on the back leg, reach overhead, dancing warrior. Extend out the front hip. Take an inhale right here. As you exhale, wind it over, cartwheeling, bring it down. Pick up and turn the back foot. Runner's lunge, inhale in place. Exhale, back to plank. Let's try that again. What we did in the last one is to rock it forward, lower, point, rise. If you had to drop your knees for a sec, that's okay. Pull up, pull back, and walk in place. Dropping both elbows into dolphin pose. Center your left foot. Send your right leg into the air. Bend the leg in the air, just like we were doing in downward dog. This is more intense on the left leg than in downward dog. Turning it back to the ground, lengthen your right leg in the air, and do toe tapping. Let the right foot touch down, lift up. Touch down, lift up. Left leg is working hard. Shoulders and arms are working hard. 3, 2, 1. Lift, lengthen your arms, move it through to runner's lunge. Nice work. Inhale in place. Ground the back foot on an angle. Rise up into warrior 2. Touch back into dancing warrior. Exhale over into side angle warrior. My forearm lands on the front leg, palm is up like I'm holding a tray, other arm is overhead, streamline the body. Let the pose be in the fingers as well, lengthen the fingers. Circle the top arm in like a windmill. And take it back up. Forward, wind it. Pick up and turn the back foot, inhale in place. Exhale it back. Plant your left forearm on the floor and turn into forearm side plank. I've got my left hand facing the edge of the mat. Reach up. If this is too much, you drop a knee and you hold it. This is still work, having a knee down. Feel the work in the supporting arm. Just switch it by just coming down, threading the right arm, and flip it over. Your hip is drooping, lift it. High hip. Bring it right into forearm plank. Climb it up to full plank. Come back down into forearm plank. You may need to do the plank climbs on your knees. I'm going to demonstrate on my knees. Up, down, up, down. One more. And lower. Upward dog or cobra. Pull it back to downward dog. Walk in place. Just can't resist. Okay. Let's all come to our knees since I kneel. You get a break too. Let's do some shoulder rolls here. I had to pat the cat's belly, it's too cute. And roll the other way. Feel the work you've done in your shoulders. Shake out your arms. We'll repeat that flow on this side, starting in dolphin. So bring your forearms to the mat. They're either parallel or they're interlaced. Your hands or thumbs are just touching. Pull back. Center your right leg. Send your left leg up and bend it and rotate and open. Feel the work, especially in the right arm. Keep the hip high. Turn the face to the mat. Lengthen your leg in the air. Keep the foot flexed and toe taps. Tap the mat, lift. 6 of these. Try to keep the right leg straight. It supports you. It's a lot of work in the hip, I know. Number 6, land it and lengthen your arms. Step the left foot through to runner's lunge. Ground the back foot. Virabhadrasana 2, wide open. Touch down on the back leg, arm overhead. Inhale. Exhale into side angle warrior, palm up. Keep doing a little mudra with the hand here if you want. Other arm overhead, lengthen. Look to the sky. Feel the spinal twist. Exhale, turn to the ground. Pick up and turn the back foot, breathe in place. Exhale it back. Doing this, the forearm side plank again. Left arm lands. Now if you want a little more challenge here, you can always repeat what you did last side, or you can take a tree pose by placing the right foot on the inside of the thigh. Reach up. Other side. Bring it down. Switch. Undo your tree if you're doing tree. Plant the foot. Keep that hip high. Now you've got resistance with the weight of the foot pushing. Nice work. Forearm plank. Lower your hips to the mat, but as soon as they get there, no rest. Lift it back up to forearm plank. Up and down. If you need a little longer on the floor, you can take it, or you can just barely brush it on the way up and down. Three, two. Let's take a Sphinx Cobra to rest. One, nice. Glass here, nice. New bamboo straw. Loving this. Way better than a plastic one. Yes. Lengthen your arms by reaching your hands forward and take your elbows off the mat. Roll back your shoulders. Feel how this changed where the back bend is. Deep inhale, like your breath is creeping up the spine. Exhale down, keep your arms out in front. And lift both legs, keep your arms resting on the ground. If you have a thin mat, a sensitive pelvic bone, this might be uncomfortable. I have two mats and it's a little uncomfortable for me. Rest it down. Let's take the arms up only. Resist picking up your legs. Extend your arms. You don't need to lift the head high. You keep the forehead down to protect the neck. Reach your arms forward. Feel the work in the core and the back. Land. Preparing for full downward facing boat. Navasana. Let's lift arms and legs and head Superman and fly. In this position, pull your hands under your shoulders. Keep your palms off the floor. Shoulders roll way back. Glutes on fire. Land your feet, land your palms. Rise up into Cobra. Come into nice tall Cobra. Now notice that I haven't rotated the elbows forward and locked them, but they're forward facing without falling down through my shoulders. Slightest bend. Now notice you haven't softened in your knuckles. Ground your palms down. Flex your feet, lift plank. Back to downward dog and walk in place. Turn into dolphin. Bring both forearms down onto the floor. Center the left foot. You don't want too wide of a stance here. If you're way out here, this one's going to be more of a forearm plank. I'm going to walk it in. I'm on tippy toes. I don't have my heels grounded. That's up to you. Lift the right leg into the air. Bend the left leg. Okay? Now just sway the right leg up and down. It doesn't have to tap the floor. I've got a bent left leg and I'm moving the right leg. On the next one, just have a look for a minute. I've simply used the momentum of the moving right leg and the spring of the bent left leg to simply take myself a little bit off the floor. Now it's okay if you're just doing this. Okay? This is usually where I get off the mat and come and see how you're doing and help you out, but I have to imagine you Okay, so once you've done 4 or 5 on one side, let's switch. So I'm in dolphin, centering the right. You might be just starting on the other side. So you make sure you do both sides. Let's pick 5 for each. The left leg up. That's what I'm doing right now. Bend. And just get the swaying first. Before you try to leave the floor, get to the lifted leg swaying. So you get the idea that there's momentum happening in the lifted leg. And then you're going to find that one side is easier than the other. We always have a leading side when it comes to lift off. Good. Pause. Now feel that work all through the arms and the forearms. Depending on what type of mat you have, the jade mat, which is a rubber-based mat, it gives me carpet burn whenever I do this pose on the jade mat. The thin, cheap plastic mats, they just don't give me enough padding and I slide on them. So there's no perfect mat yet that I've found. I've been using jade mat for about 10 years. Shake out your arms and circle your wrists. Let's do eagle arms. Stretch before we try that again. Stretch your right arm out and bend your left arm. Cross it over, create a V. Bring the backs of the hands together. For some people with really tight shoulders or tight wrists, this is as far as you'll go, just from an ankle. Now I'm taking the left arm down, so the higher one down, and wrapping it around palm to palm. You could interlace into a fist here, keep it flat, or fold over to the left, whatever you like. Now really relax through your shoulders and your upper back right. Inhale your elbows high. Don't want to lock up in the neck here at all. Exhale them down. Again, inhale, elbows up. Exhale down. Up. Exhale down. Release, shake it out. Stretch the left arm forward. So, relax through the shoulders, inhale, elbows up. Exhale them down. Inhale, up. Shake that. Okay, so we are going to try that again. The little kick-ups. If you're feeling really insecure that you're going to kick over, now I've had gymnasts in my class who kick up and end up doing a front walkover, but they know how because they've been doing front walkovers their entire lives. If you do have a strong kick up and you're worried about going over, you can just kick less hard or come to a wall. But most people don't kick hard enough, so that's probably not your challenge. Moving some of those things now that I can see. All right, if you want to look, go ahead or join me. Taking the one leg up, I've got the other one bent. I'm getting momentum from both. So you have the option of the wall. The problem with the wall is that you do become dependent on it. I like that it gives you the feeling of being up and being able to stay up and get used to being upside down. The key if you're using the wall is that you don't crash into it. You also don't want to bring your fingertips right there. Give yourself a little space. I'm usually about a foot, but that's up to you. If you still don't feel comfortable being that far, get a little closer. But you don't want to smash your tailbone or back into the wall. And we really want that light takeoff. See, I found it very easily and I'm this far from the wall. So there is a little bit of an arch in this pose if you're moving your way to scorpion, where we bend the legs. And feel as if the chest is dropping towards the earth. And if you're still just here,
And maybe if you've just got one foot on the wall, then we can practice maybe lifting the other one off the wall too. But if you're not there, that takes some time. Then keep practicing your little mini donkey kicks. Down, lift, a little, just like that. Remember, it's two legs working, not just the bent one. And switching. Now, I'm going to teach you how to fall. More thing to address before we start to cool down. Falling. So you may kick up so hard that you lose your balance. Inevitably, you will not arch over again unless you're a gymnast. You're going to end up falling to the side, depending on which leg you kick up with. I don't want to kick the cat, so have to accommodate the cat. I'm going to come back and show you how I fall to the side. She's probably going to freak out a bit. So when I kick up too hard, I kind of end up doing this. That's all, and I land nicely. There's no pain. Unlike sometimes with a handstand where you can twist the wrists, or in the forearms, you really can't get that injured. I can't say you can't get injured at all, but it's very unlikely if you fall in coming up and pinch your ass and you're going to hurt yourself. So twist a little to the side, get back, and start again, okay? So that takes practice. Keep practicing your kick-ups. Remember, you need lots of shoulder warm-up first, okay? And just keep practicing lifting, and if you get that little oops to the side, that's okay. And just see if you can get that hang time, where you feel like you're being suspended for a second. Okay, and if you may not notice from where you are, but when I landed, there was no sound. It was just a little, you just want the lightest landing. And at first, it's probably gonna be a thump thump, I always say. Don't let the people downstairs, if there is anyone downstairs, hear you when you land. If it's thumping right now, in time with control and practice, that'll get quieter and quieter and quieter. It takes time. And if you're only gonna practice this once every 3 months, you're probably not gonna make progress. But keep doing it, especially if you have wrist issues. This one takes all pressure out of the wrists, and it's not putting pressure in your neck like headstand, okay? Let's do some cooling down. Let's start seated and extend the right leg out to the side and bend the left. So if you find that your knee is way up in the air here, you can. These are extremely handy. Get yourself a yoga rack, they're about $3 each. Order one on Amazon, or go to Toll-Around and see if they have them. Okay, now I'm flexing the other foot and reaching down the leg, maybe to the shin, maybe to the ankle, or belt, scarf, sock, whatever. I'm using the arena bands, they're excellent for resistance training. You can hold something around your foot and just do that. If you can comfortably take the foot, and go wherever you can. Maybe this arm is just hanging, it's okay, you can do that. We'll come right over. Again, we want to keep, in this case, the left sit bone rooted to the floor. Let's keep this a side bend. So you may be able to turn and get forward. We can do that after, but right now we're keeping this a side bend. Doesn't matter if you're not dropping to the leg like me. Started practicing yoga in the late 80s. Yeah, it's over 30 years of practicing yoga. Shaped my body a little bit. Let's come up and over. Now we're propping up onto the left knee, lifting, rooting down through the right hand, and just like side angle warrior, reach. Never too late to reshape your body, to develop that mind-body connection. Get up, land, switcheroo. Okay. So maybe you're propping your knee, maybe you're wrapping your strap around the foot. Whatever. Reach down, take what you can, and side bend wherever you want to go. So as you hold the pose, instead of thinking about what you're going to do tonight,
or tomorrow. What happened today is think about where you feel this happening. Remember I say that in children's yoga, they say, oh, I feel it in my head, I feel it in my back, I feel it in my neck, wherever. Be like a child, name those body parts. Up, down onto the right knee, and extend, lengthen. Okay, let's take it into a straddle. So you can be like this in your straddle. And if you find that your low back is like that whenever you try to sit with your legs this way, it's time to prop it with a folded blanket or a brick. See, what could happen as soon as I did that, up goes my back, and that's what we want, even if it means that your legs are only that far apart, or if they're bent. Floor hurts my heels. So I pad them by coming sideways on the mat, it's up to you. And sitting up tall. Let's flex the feet here. Bring one hand on the floor in front of you, the other hand behind you. Stay tall and look back. Full breath. As you exhale, switch it. Way back to center. Walk your hands forward. So here's where you may really need to add a bend in the knees as it gets more intense as we come further forward. Sorry. Just wanted to center myself. So she's in the middle. And then come down as far as you can comfortably. Look up, walk up, shake your legs to bring them back and come into staff pose, or what I like to call letter L. Again, you may have something propped on your sit bones to get that straight back. You could take your prop, your strap, your band around the feet right here if you want, but you pull down. Now look at my back. As I do a forward bend, I'm not doing this. Getting further away from my feet here. What we want to feel is if you're lengthened up and there's hinges at the hips and you're just teetering over, like someone's pushing you gently in your mid-back, that may mean that you need to do this to keep the back way. This is fine for your forward bend. Either way, don't lock the back of the knees. Sometimes I like to actually take my forearms underneath my legs like this. That way I get that little lift and helps me come further forward. So I know that my back is round here, but what it isn't doing is super round in the low back, but that is hoisted up. And in we shake. Let's come onto our backs. Legs straight in the air. Again, we'll use the strap first. Wrap them around those feet. And even though I can comfortably take my toes, I like to take the strap and pull on it. It's where the elastic's nice. Advantage to these straps is they are cloth and they have the rubber on the inside that sticks to your legs. Even if you're sweaty, or to your pants if they're slidey, it'll stay in place, so it's nice. A little pricier. Deep inhale like your breath is traveling up the back of your legs. Let's release the right leg down. I'm going to take my strap over my band away. And I've got the left leg in the air, you can interlace behind it. Open. I want to open the left leg out to the side. If you're taking the foot, then it's just like this. Now it might hang in the air, that's okay. Or maybe it comes right to the ground.
Let's not roll over onto the side, but keep your back down. Keep the right hip rooted down. Stick the right arm to the sky behind us. Okay, it's bent here. Try to land your hand on the floor. 3. There's a lot going on here. We've got the hamstrings on the left side. Pelvis opening, and a deep stretch through the right hip flexor, the front part of the hip. And get back. Bend both legs, arms by your sides, and just compare the two sides. Feel what you've done. This checking in with the body is called spadiyaha, self-inquiry. These foreign words you hear are Sanskrit, the ancient language of India, the birthplace of yoga. Let's do the other side. I'm turning because the wall is in the way of my stretched side. Let's extend the left leg long, take the right leg into the air, and maybe you just interlace here. Maybe you're using your strap, and you might just pull it out to the side like that. If you can take the foot, then out to the side, it goes. This is a very advanced variation I'm doing. I've been teaching yoga for 18 years, and I'd probably say 5% of my students in all the years could take the stretch to here. So don't be thinking, oh, well, I can't do that. I can't do the pose right. Like most people are doing it like this. I have a lot of flexibility in some areas of the body, but not all. I can't do very deep back bends. They all bend in different ways. Let's take the left arm behind the head. 12 o'clock, long breaths. And bring it back up. Let's do happy baby. So both knees are bent. Variation 1, just hold the back of the legs or the ankles. Or you can come through the middle and just do this. Alternatively, take your feet, toes, and so I see a lot of people doing this pose like this. That's okay, but what we want is the wide legs here. Then rock side to side. Feel one hip lifting. Maybe if you're wide like me, the knee is making it all the way down to the floor. Some people like to add this straight leg so that when you rock to one side, out goes a leg. Just an option. Hug your legs to rock side to side. So you may want to use a prop in Shavasana, final relaxation pose. I tend to like a bolster underneath my knees, just to add that little bend to round down through my low back. I have some low back challenges, some injuries and chronic pain there, so I'm always accommodating my low back. Otherwise, you're lengthening down. You want your left and the right side of your body to be symmetrical. Start with your palms rolled up. If they naturally roll down, okay. Your hands are about a foot from your body. Now I'm going to sit up. I want you to remain on your back in your relaxation pose. Feel the floor under you. Maybe you are in air conditioning and you need to put a blanket over you. It's not cold where I am, but you may want to weigh yourself down, even if you're not cold, just have something on top of you. It feels really good. Feel the floor under your head, under your shoulders and hips, the weight of your body. We'll read a passage from Melody Beattie's Journey to the Heart, a classic book from, I think, 1994, if I'm not mistaken. Experience the thrill of the climb. Don't stop now, you're almost there.
You've worked so hard to climb this mountain. In the beginning, you were excited, exhilarated at the prospect of the mountain you were about to climb. Now, you're almost atop. You're struggling, gotten weary, but you kept going. Now your goal is in sight. So keep going. Guidance is still there to help you. The life force, the one that keeps you going, keeps you moving forward, is still there too. Burning brightly within you, charging all that you do with its energy. It's more difficult for you to feel it, but that is only because you may be tired. Don't stop. Relax as much as you can. Focus intently on each step. Soon you will reach the top. You will reach your goal. You'll experience victory. Keep your eyes focused on the path. Look straight ahead and embrace the thrill of the climb. Allow yourself at least 2 minutes of total stillness. This can be very challenging. You may even think there's no point. Why not get up and walk away now? The stillness after our practice allows all the benefits of the pose to percolate in your body. Gives it a chance to manifest.